A new transforming robot toy is taking the internet by storm, whether it be a train with aura or a cat with thighs that could likely punch a hole through bedrock. This series is Metal Cardbot by Korean media company SAMG, a transforming robot line that is giving Hasbro semi-octogenarians a run for their money. I pre-ordered the first wave from Agabus, the company behind the classic Transformers convention BotCon, and now the ones bringing these toys stateside. I first made my pre-order last year and got them back in March, a few months after the initial January delivery date. Were they worth the wait? And is the internet right about them completely blowing Transformers out of the water? Well, yes. Yeah, if you like to play with your toys, yes. They may lack a lot of the features of a collector's toy, but their fun transformations, clicky joints, and an amazing feel in the hand far surpass the value you get with most of Hasbro's offerings nowadays, especially in their playline department. Come on, we couldn't afford elbows. These figures aren't for everyone, but if they are for you, I need you to know. So please, take a moment and hear me out as we try to answer, does Metal Cardbot live up to the hype? First things first, the lineup, even among the initial wave, is amazing. We have something for everyone: a sports car space sheriff, a helicopter ninja, a dump truck quarterback, a bulldozer construction worker, a pirate ship, and an evil truck that is truly gigantic. There's a greater spread in these 6 bots than there are in some other entire toy lines. And they are great in both modes. All of the vehicles feel so solid and roll very well on their metal pinned wheels. A quirk about Metal Cardbot is that they all have eyes on their vehicle forms, which, like Go Onger, rules. A big theme in the Metal Cardbot media is their coexistence with human beings, so giving their vehicle forms eyes not only lets them act as characters while in disguise, but also injects more personality into their already heavily stylized, incredibly vibrant designs. Don't worry though, if you're a coward, Agabus included a decal sheet with the full wave bundle that allows you to give them a more standard windshield. But if you have taste, they also include details for even more expressive eyes. It's a real win-win. They also include stickers for the metal cards and a literal metal card. Don't touch it with your bare hands though, it smudges. The transformation between the modes is just as fun as the vehicles would suggest. They're quick and simple, not in a way that negates the fun of the transformation, but in a way that distills the experience to only the most fun parts of transforming figures. They play like what Super Sentai Gatai sequences feel like to watch. Everything clicks, flips, and locks into place like you'd expect from watching a super robot transformation. Pretty much nothing is finicky or makes me dread transforming them back and forth. Bluster Gale, or Buster Gallon if you're Korean, even has an alternate mode you can swap into mid-transformation. These are premium deskbot material. They also come with instructions notated with English text, which is a nice touch. The pictures are enough most of the time, but it's nice to have some written clarification too. The robot modes are not as articulate as, say, the average generation's Transformer figure, and some of them have substantial kibble, but it's not as egregious as it might sound. These robots are chunky and tactile in a way many collectors' lines just aren't. Nearly every load-bearing joint is a satisfying ratchet, and the poses you can get are still pretty good. The limitations of their joints actually go a long way in helping these guys stand up, especially in a neutral stance. In fact, the character designs on all of these robots are strong enough to carry a neutral stance without seeming lifeless. The bold colors, the ample paint application, and the spot-on silhouettes help these characters stand out completely on their own. You can tell at a glance what roles these characters fill and how they may interact. That rules! These are a kid's actors in their very own personal plays. In vehicle mode or robot mode, they make a great cast. And speaking of child's play, I have to hammer home how robust these toys feel. Like, a kid could teethe on these, and I think they would survive. Of course, this durability comes at the cost of granularity and posability and super fine detail, but I think the bombastic and exaggerated designs fully compensate for that. The design trade-offs all feel like they were made for good reason, to create a solid, fun play experience. A play experience that is deftly aided by the metal cards. Being the namesake of the line, they are neither metal nor card, or being like a block attached to what amounts to a gimmick item for the metal brace. a roleplay item that, by all means, is the yokai watch for robots. Slide a metal card in, and it makes a noise for summoning that character. Unfortunately, this is not in Agabus's lineup. Yet. While the card itself is useless, the attached plastic is not. It too transforms, this time into weapons and armor for the main Cardbot. These transformations are just as satisfying as the main bots, even if it is just from a rectangle. Let's start off with Blue Cop, renamed Blue Star because, well, it's America, man, come on. I'm surprised Chase hasn't been discharged with full pay. God, he's lucky they let him keep his gun. If I had to say, his vehicle would officially be listed as a cab. I mean, it might as well be. It's barely a cop car. Anyways, our favorite Warrior Cat fan gets a metal card weapon that is, a giant fist. That feels more on the nose than the gun, guys. Shadow X gets to replace one of their helicopter blades with a giant shuriken. Yeah, easy win here, this is rad. The loose rotor even gets to become a kunai. Well, I imagine that's what it's supposed to be. Like, a child designed this. I mean that in the best way possible. A child designed this. Let's see that vehicle mode. Oh, hell yeah, man! Let's go! Buster Gallon, or as the courts have mandated, Bluster Gale, gets a wrench and a Gatling gun chest plate, which is about the loadout of the average American construction worker. Mech Tackle, or Mega Trucker after the accident, gets a shoulder-mounted shield and the sheer girth of his form. Steel Hook, changed from Black Hook in a Xenoblade-style localization choice, gets an anchor appropriately and also a shoulder-mounted Giga Cannon complete with scouter sights. You know, like a pirate. And finally, Heavy Iron gets a chest plate, which is kinda small, but he is kinda big, and it completes his outfit. It's a fashion statement, and also a weapon banned by the Geneva Conventions. The translucent look of each weapon card, I looked up the name, you're welcome, creates the vibe that they're brimming with energy and an actual power-up. The other weapons, if a Cardbot came with one, can store away on the robot in both modes, which is nice. I would love a yokai medallion analog to store away all of the metal cards and weapon cards, but seeing as the weapon cards become more like weapon triple-sleeved commander decks in future seasons, maybe that'd be unfeasible. Oh yeah, and if Agabus could also bring over the China-exclusive animal card buddies, oh my god, please, please, I want my little buddies! Nevertheless, Metal Cardbot is a fun toy line. If your favorite part about Transformers is fun transformations and distinct character designs, I highly recommend Metal Cardbot, especially if you have a soft spot for Transformers toy lines from the turn of the millennium, or things like the Brave series or Super Sentai. Metal Cardbot fills a niche a lot of collectors outside of East Asia have been looking to fill in terms of transforming figures. If your desk is missing a converting companion or you want a toy both you and a child in your life could fully appreciate, please check this series out. Anyways, I talked about the history of Transformers as building block toys and Bakugan, which is like a Transformer but it's a ball, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. I don't know, how would you end this? Like, I know, if I were Monty Python, I would probably have, like, the police show up.
Stand down! I said stand down!
Wait, what?